Hello everyone, welcome to online learning program of Chaudhary Charan Singh Haryana Agricultural University Hisar. Today we are starting a very important chapter, that is respiration in plants. Respiration is a very important physiological process, and as we studied in the last chapter, by process of photosynthesis plants are making their food in the form of organic matter, and all the living organisms directly or indirectly depending on the plants for their food, and this food, that is organic matter, is undergo for respiration with the help of oxygen to give energy and releasing carbon dioxide. Or in simple term, when we talk about the respiration, it is just like the breathing, intake of oxygen and exhale of carbon dioxide. But in this process there is a release of energy. That energy is used for doing various kinds of work by cellular level to the whole body level. So we will study this, how this process is happening. If we go for the definition, it is the cellular oxidation of the organic matter. That organic matter may be carbohydrate, fat or protein or other organic acids that goes for oxidation to gives the energy. And if we go for the net reaction, it is the combination of glucose, oxygen to give carbon dioxide and water with the release of energy, and this look like the opposite of the photosynthesis, but it is not the reverse of photosynthesis and not occurring in a single step. It is having the multiple steps, and it is a catabolic process, as I told, vital process for all living beings, and the mostly activating cells or organelles are the actively growing parts like the germinating seeds, floral buds, vegetative parts, apical or shoot apical meristematic regions. The food that is produced goes to the every cell for the oxidation, so we can term it as the cellular oxidation, and the ATP that is produced is broken down to release the energy, and this energy is stored in ATP utilized for carrying out various types of activities and utilized for the movement, growth and development. In this slide, how the ATPs are formed. The ATP are formed by the combination of ADP with the inorganic phosphate. It result into adenosine triphosphate. The energy lies in the third bond. This is the energy rich bond, and the whole process is under the control of enzymes. And when we need the energy, this third bond get broken down and to release the energy and to give the ATP to ADP, and the process occurs in the presence of different enzymes. Going on the types of respiration, basically it is of two types, aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration, as the name depicts, in the presence of oxygen, and here the complete oxidation of respiratory substrates or the carbohydrate to release energy and carbon dioxide and water. It is a simple synonym of respiration, that is when we talk for the respiration, we understood aerobic respiration, that is complete oxidation of most commonly substrate carbohydrate to the carbon dioxide and water. And anaerobic respiration, it is a rare respiration that is occurring mostly in the microorganisms like fungi etc., and it take place in the absence of oxygen, and here not the complete oxidation, or there is the partial oxidation of the respiratory substrate, and it can give or go for the alcoholic fermentation and lactic acid fermentation to yield ethyl alcohol and lactic acid, and with the release of a less amount of energy. Then these are the major substrates for respiration. The carbohydrate, most common substrate, that goes for glycolysis, give the pyruvic acid, then give acetyl CoA, that enters the Krebs cycle to yield a huge amount of energy. Proteins go for deamination, then give acetyl CoA that enters the Krebs cycle, and fats and other organic acids also go for the oxidation reaction to give the acetyl CoA that can enter in the Krebs cycle for the process of respiration to yield organic reduced powers, and that will release energy. So, we will study the mechanism of respiration. The mechanism of respiration includes the various steps of respiration. The first step is glycolysis, in which glucose is splitting, then its product pyruvic acid goes for the second step, and the second step is the step of only the aerobic respiration. Here the Krebs cycle or citric acid cycle occurs, and the products of the Krebs cycle goes for electron transport system for terminal oxidation or oxidative phosphorylation to give ATPs. And the fourth part, that is pentose phosphate pathway, it is an alternate way of respiration. When there are the inhibitors for the aerobic respiration, then this alternate pathway, pentose phosphate pathways occurs. One by one we will discuss these steps in detail, and today's lecture we can complete only glycolysis and Krebs cycle. The other part we will discuss in the next class. Glycolysis, as the name shows, glycolysis, splitting of glucose. It is also known as EMP pathway, as discovered by Abedon Mayer of Parnas. And one molecule of glucose, you can see here, gives the 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. The glucose is having 6 carbon and pyruvic acid having 3 carbons. So, 6 carbon gives us 2 molecules of 3 carbons, and there is no loss of carbon in this process, and this process is common for aerobic and anaerobic respiration, as there is no requirement of oxygen, and the process is occur in the cytoplasm of cell. Energy is released in the small quantity, only 2 ATPs we are getting here, and the process include a series of 10 reactions that are composed of 2 phases. First phase, preparatory phase, having the 5 reactions, and second phase, payoff phase, having the 5 reactions. Let us discuss the phases one by one. The first phase, preparatory phase, here the glucose enters or go for the glycolysis. The first reaction is the first priming reaction. The enzyme involved is hexokinase, and here there is the action of ATP. It will give ADP, and a phosphate group is added to glucose, and it makes the glucose 6-phosphate. Then this glucose 6-phosphate goes for isomerization reaction in the presence of enzyme phosphohexose isomerase to give fructose 6-phosphate, and this further goes for the second priming reaction with the addition of ATP to give us fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. This fructose 1,6-bisphosphate then go for the cleavage reaction. The enzyme is aldolase, and it gives the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone 3-phosphate. These glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate are the 2 3-carbon molecules, and these are the isomers of each other. They can be interconvertible. So, with the help of enzyme triose phosphate isomerase. Now, this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will enter to the payoff phase of the glycolysis. In the payoff phase, as we seen in the preparatory phase, there is the utilization of oxygen. Now, there is utilization of ATPs, and here we will get the ATPs and reducing powers. The glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate that was formed in the preparatory phase goes to the payoff phase, and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate with the help of enzyme glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenation gives hydrogen. That hydrogen is picked up by 2 NAD plus to yield NADH and H positive, and a inorganic phosphate is also added. Now, it is important to note that there is number 2 is written before the every number, before the every name. Why it is written as 2? Because we have seen there are the 2 molecules of 3 carbon compound, and these glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate are isomers of each other. So, 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate enter to the payoff phase, and this reaction is very important. It involves the oxidation and phosphorylation. The oxidation with no addition of oxygen, it is the removal of hydrogen. That hydrogen picked by NAD plus and inorganic phosphate is also added, and we result in the product 1,3-biphosphoglycerate. That are further 2 molecules. Then the first reaction where we get the ATPs. Here substrate level phosphorylation occurs. The ADP molecules combine with the inorganic phosphate to give the ATP, and the 1-phosphor group is removed from this and it results in 3-phosphoglycerate. Then this 3-phosphoglycerate with the help of enzyme phosphoglycerate mutase gives 2-phosphoglycerate, and this 2-phosphoglycerate goes for the removal of water in the presence of enzyme enolase to give phosphoenol pyruvate. This phosphoenol pyruvate further go for substrate level phosphorylation to give 2 molecules of pyruvate and 2 molecules of ATP in the presence of enzyme kinase. And the enzyme that was utilized in the 7th step, that was also a kinase, phosphoglycerate kinase. So, important to note that we are getting the ATPs at step number 7 and step number 10, and here in total we are getting the 4 ATPs and 2 NADH. Why I am telling this? This will help us to count how total ATPs, how many ATPs are released during the process of aerobic respiration. So, now this again summarizing the whole process of glycolysis, the glucose utilization of 2 ATPs in the preparatory phase, 2 NAD, 4 ADP, 2 phosphoric acid to give 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, 2 ADP, 2 NADH and 4 ATPs. And there is gain of only 2 ATPs. Why only 2 ATPs? Because 2 ATPs were utilized in the preparatory phase. And when we go for the aerobic respiration, this NADH can give, 1 NADH can give 3 molecules of ATP. So, the 2 NADH can give the 6 molecules of ATP. So, in total in the glycolysis we are getting the 2 plus 6, that is the 8 ATPs molecules. Now, the pyruvate that we got from the glycolysis, it has the different fates. If there is no oxygen, then it go for the anaerobic respiration by ethanol or alcoholic fermentation or lactic acid fermentations. But when it have the oxygen, it go for the decarboxylation reaction to give the acetyl-CoA, and this acetyl-CoA enters to the very important part of the aerobic respiration, that is the Krebs cycle. Here we get the complete oxidation and we get the carbon dioxide and the water, and it is the normal process in all the eukaryotic organisms like animal, plant, many microbial cells also go for the aerobic condition for this process of carbon decarboxylation and citric acid cycle for the respiration. Then before entering to the Krebs cycle, the pyruvate is converted to acetyl-CoA. This acetyl-CoA is also known as the activated form of acetyl or acetate, and this happen with the help of enzyme pyruvate dehydrogenase. It is a complex of 3 enzymes, E1, that is the pyruvate dehydrogenase, second dihydrolipoyl transacetylase, and third one is the dihydrolipoyl dehydrogenase. These also require the different cofactor like FAD and NAD, and they give us one reducing power, that is NADH, and 1 carbon dioxide, because the pyruvate is a 3 carbon compound and acetyl CoA is a 2 carbon compound. So 1 carbon dioxide is removed here with the production of a NADH molecule. Then this process is occurring in the cytosol, and this acetyl CoA enters to the mitochondria for the Krebs cycle, and this reaction can also known as the link reaction. And in the Krebs cycle, the acetyl CoA, you can see here that we got from the previous reaction, and this acetyl CoA combine or condense with the oxaloacetate, and the Krebs cycle, this process is occurring in the mitochondrial matrix, and this oxaloacetate, this it combines with this acetyl CoA in the presence of enzyme citrate synthase. As the name shows, citrate synthase, it results in the citrate, and with the release of coenzyme A. And here you can see the acetyl CoA having the 2 carbons and the oxaloacetate having the, you can count the 4 carbons. So the resultant compound, that is citrate, it is having the 6 carbon, and it is also important to note that this having the 3 carboxylic group. So the cycle name is also known as the tricarboxylic acid cycle and the citric acid cycle, as the first stable product is the citric acid, or you can say citrate. Then with the help of enzyme and removal of water, it gives the cis-aconitate. This cis-aconitate is a temporary compound product, and with the addition of water it give isocitrate immediately. Then this isocitrate and citrate, it is important to note that from citrate to isocitrate there is no loss of carbon dioxide or carbon molecule. Here it is 6 carbon product, and then this isocitrate go for isocitrate dehydrogenase. Dehydrogenation reaction, here the hydrogen is picked by NAD plus to give NADH plus H positive, and carbon dioxide is released here, and here as we see it was the 6 carbon compound and decarboxylation has been occurred here. So resultant compound is 5 carbon compound. Now this 5 carbon compound alpha ketoglutarate again go for the dehydrogenation reaction with the removal of decarboxylation or carbon dioxide, and gives the another reducing power NADH and H positive, or the resultant product is the 4 carbon, that is succinyl CoA. Now this, from this succinyl CoA to the getting oxaloacetate, there will be no loss of carbon molecule, or that we will get the, because the process is cycle, we will get the actual product oxaloacetate. Now the succinyl CoA with the help of enzyme succinyl CoA synthetase will give the succinate, and here inorganic phosphate is added, and we will get one molecule of GTP, that is equivalent to ATP, and it is also the substrate level phosphorylation. Then the succinate will give fumarate, and there is the dehydrogenation reaction, and the hydrogen was picked by FAD to give FADH2. This fumarate with the help of enzyme fumarase, addition of water will give the malate, and this malate again go for dehydrogenation reaction to give the NADH plus H positive in the presence of enzyme malate dehydrogenase, and we will get our initial product oxaloacetate. Here important to note that the carbon dioxide or the carbon molecule in acetyl CoA were only the 2, and the decarboxylation of these 2 carbon were completed till this step. After this step, there is the regeneration of the oxaloacetate and production of the reducing power. And it is also important to note that this is the one cycle of the Krebs cycle. This is the one turn, and here we are getting one NAD H at the step isocitrate to alpha ketoglutarate and 1 alpha ketoglutarate to the succinyl CoA and 1 from malate to oxaloacetate with the help of malate dehydrogenase. So, in total, because pyruvate release or gives because glucose gives the 2 molecule of pyruvic acid, that will result in 2 molecules of acetyl CoA. So, the turn will double and we will get the 6 NADH, 2 FADH2 and 2 ATP, and this production is only from the Krebs cycle, it does not include the link reaction. And if we go for the summary, the products, as I told in the last slide, these are the steps where we are getting the reducing power. And one important point to note that as we are talking about the aerobic respiration, but we have not seen till the use of oxygen. And I also told this is the step or this is the process that occurs only during the aerobic respiration. So, where is that oxygen and where is the ATP molecule? We have not got so much ATPs. In this step, we got only the 1 ATP. These reduced powers that we produced in this Krebs cycle go for the terminal oxidation through oxidative phosphorylation to yield a huge amount of ATPs. And the detail of that oxidative phosphorylation or terminal oxidation will be done in the next chapter, next class. In the summary, in this lecture only how many ATPs were produced during the glycolysis substrate level phosphorylation, we got the 2 ATPs and 2 NADH. The 2 NADH, 1 NADH can give the 3 ATPs, so total 6 ATPs are produced. And formation of acetyl CoA in the mitochondrial matrix give the 2 ATPs and 2 NAD, 2 FAD and 6 NADH. So, in total these 2 NADH are produced through the link reaction. So, in total we are getting the 34 ATPs because 1 FADH can give the 2 ATPs and 1 NADH can give the 3 ATPs. So, the detailed how these ATPs are produced with the help of different enzyme and these occur through the electron transport system that is occurring in the mitochondria will be discussed in the next class. Thank you, and have if any query you can write me or ask any questions.